The Phoenix is ready. Her armor set, her system stable. Time to move from defense to offense. The old encounter logs with the Factorum paint a clear picture. They should not be taken lightly. They don't retreat, they don't negotiate. I already decided what comes next. Drones. Today's goal is simple. Build the first working prototype. Something fast, annoying and expendable. If it performs the way I need it to, we'll move to mass production and finally give the Phoenix some cover fire of her own. Let's begin with one and see how far we can take it. Alright, let's close off the gate. Let's see if I can change this into a refuel station. There we go. So I should be able to recharge while I'm working. And here we can build our drone on top. Although, yeah, I will have to build it with a landing gear. Okay. Alright. So I'm thinking about still having a little connector on this. Just in case I want to load things up or I want to connect it to my ship. I'm still going to have to try to figure out how we're going to do that. Because I don't have anything on my ship that has a small connector. What we could do is build a temporary bracket on the Phoenix that just disconnects the ships and then disconnects the bracket. And then I set the ships to follow me. Could do that. Alright, so we will need power, we need thrusts. Let's start with the power. And let's put these batteries on here. Like that. I'm not going to weld them up yet until I'm sure that that's what I want to do. In the middle, I'm going to leave this open so I can actually pull conveyors. We could put a connector maybe here. 7. Something like that. Which means we have a conveyor line possible there. I'm gonna have to just put a conveyor here so I can go back and forth. Then we need a whole bunch of thrusters. We also need a whole bunch of guns, but I think we should put our thrusters and then our guns in the front. Then have some heavy armor in the front as well. We need upwards and downwards thrust. I think the most important power is gonna be forwards and backwards. Upwards and downwards a little bit. Left and right is the least important. Can I build you there? No, because of the landing pads. Could I move you? Forward. Because for the moment we don't need that connector. There we go. I don't even need to weld it up. Thruster forward. Now this landing gear is in the way again. Also, yeah, I'm gonna have to put somewhere thrusters down. I can't put one up there, but I cannot put one there. If I put it in front, then I'm blocking off the conveyor line if I need it. I don't know yet. Let me focus on the sideways thrust first. I think we can just hide them inside. Like that. And then we could put like forwards and backwards thrusts. If I would put forwards and backwards thrust here and here, or here and here, So let me start with putting the forwards and the backwards thrust on there. So we'll take the thrusters again. I'm gonna put one forward and we're gonna put one backwards. We'll do the same here. We do one forward, one backwards. And put two more like that, which is braking thrust. That's 4 thrusters braking. We could do the same here. Maybe. That means I could put my brake left and right thrust up there. And I could put 2 down there as well. So now we got, well, we don't have, we just have a little bit of up and down. I got forward, I got braking, I got left, right, and I got up and down. So I got the 4 directions, we just need to add more to them. Let's pull this conveyor out. Let me just start with just building these. Can we put our guns in there? I could put them even deeper. Do we do it like that, or do we put them here instead?
Energy low.
Then I can do... see, if I do this and this. And then I'll put my guns like this. Alright, let's start welding these things up, except for the batteries. So we can see a bit what is going on. So we have a conveyor line that connects to the connector. What I'm considering is, could we move the connector further? Let me just quickly grind this away. And can we just do a quick pipeline, or not a pipeline, but just a few connectors here in the front so I can move that landing gear again. So connector 7. Let's do it like this instead. Then we need a conveyor here. And then this one, if this is just going to be a pass-through, we could make containers from that. Alright, let me just weld this up first. Alright, and then let's remove you. Let's remove you. Are you connected to anything? No? What we could do we want to put any of our AI blocks in front? I think the best thing to put the AI blocks is in here now. So we could put 2 containers in between there. Okay, let me just remove you for a second. And let's put 2 small containers in there, because we will need storage for our ammo, or spare ammo. There we go. And then here we can put a conveyor in, or yeah, a conveyor. One of those. There we go. So now we got a little bit of storage. I think we need more, but this is a good start. That means we could put another container there. Like that. And let's put a T here. Do we need a T? Well, give me a second. Alright, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna put another thruster up here. Like that. And we're gonna put another thruster down here. Like that. So I got 2 up. I got 2 left, 2 right, 4 front. I just need more back, or more frontal, and I got more. Yeah, okay, you know what I mean. So we could put some AI blocks in this area here. We also need a gyro, and it might be a good idea to put that gyro maybe here. Do we put it in? God, I should have made more space in between there. Let me see. If I would switch lock, I cannot. Right. Auto lock off. Switch lock. Can I move you like a block up? Yeah, you're not too heavy, so I can control you pretty simple. Alright. Alright, let's put you down again. So I have a bit more space. So I was thinking about putting the gyro here. I think that's an okay spot, because once I get through here, then the gyro should be already pointless. Alright, so we got a gyro. We got some conveyor lines. Here we need, let me think, we need AI. Let me just check. G. AI. We need, no, we don't need a recorder. We need a basic task if I want this drone to follow me. We need the move, because that is always needed no matter what. So we need 2. Then we need AI defensive and AI combat. If I go for AI combat only, this can detect a large lock and engage enemy grids up to 2500 meters using customizable attack patterns. This can detect and lock. Additionally, it can be set up to flee. So actually, I don't need a defense block. I just need the offense block. So we need 1, 2, 3 blocks. So let's put you in here. We will need an event controller, and we will need timers. Let me just remove these. So I have a toolbar just for this. I don't know which toolbar we're on. 9. I am considering a reactor as well on this. Let me just AI. Let me just move this here. And then we go to event. And timer. Another thing that we should put on is a action relay and a antenna. Let's think about what is the most important. The one that we're gonna need is the basic task. I'm considering we can actually put this on the front, because once it's done following me, we don't need that block anymore. If it gets destroyed, it doesn't matter, it is in attack. So we can put this one somewhere here in the nose. We don't need to bother about this. We might even be able to put an event block in the front as well, somewhere here. The event block that triggers to disconnect. Yeah, alright. So the only thing we need, let me think. We will need an event controller to check if the ship is still connected to the connector. We will need a event controller that once it locks a target. Oh, we need a defense block as well. Yeah. So what I want to do here, I want this thing to follow me until it detects an enemy, and then it goes into offense. So I will need a defense block to recognize a target, then it switches that defense to an offense. So automatically becomes aggressive. So we need a defense block, we need an offensive block, we need a basic task, and we need the flight. I think we also should put a timer. That's why I put a timer on the list, is so that I can activate the group. So I can press a button on the drone that activates the whole group if, for example, the connector doesn't work. And then the action relay, so that I can change things. So I can trigger and say switch to another target. Instead of using weapons, go to the propulsion. So the only thing that has to be in the bag is offense, defense, and flight. and the action relay. So flight, we make sure that we are pointing to the front. So let's see, that's front, so you're going there. And then we need the offense. The defense is not as important as the offense, so maybe we should do defense here. This is the offense. Okay, so 2 defense, come here. Then flight with the F to front. And then here we're gonna put the offense block. So we got those, we got those, we got that one. On this we can put our reactor, because it might be a smart idea to have a bit of a power supply. Although we have 2 batteries, but do we need a reactor or do we don't we? Reactor components, computers, metal grids, steel tubes. Do we need it? No, we don't. I'm gonna put a container in the back here just to have another backup. This is gonna be shot pretty hard when we go to the front, so this is all gonna be heavy armor. I have a defense block. The ones that I said I can put in the front are 1 event block, a timer, and the basic flight. So, first things first, 2. We're looking for the basic task. Then the other one that we said that could be there was 1 event block and the timer. Can I put both event blocks in the front? One is to check the target, one is... Yeah, we can put both of the event controls in front. And then we just need the timer. What I should do instead, I should maybe put the defensive block here. Yeah. Or no, let's put the AI flight in the back, okay? And then here we can put the event block or a timer. Timer. 4. There we go. I think we have almost everything. The only thing I'm gonna have to put here still is a the action relay and an antenna. 5. Action relay goes here. And maybe antenna goes in here. That's it now. Another thing I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna change these to just T. Like that. Just gonna be nicer on the side here of the thruster. I will put some maybe some small wings on the side here and put some decoy blocks in there as well. All right, let me go to heavy armor, and let's start with covering this a bit up and see what the shape can be. All right, so a pretty basic like shape, but I think this will be doing the job. It should be able to withstand a little bit of shots, except for railguns, but it should keep the ships busy enough for me to have some time to do my part. You know what I could do? I only have... You know what I could do? We could like put like a little bit of a tail on this. These won't last that long, I would say, but I could put 2 thrusters in the back. I'm now working on a little bit of like looking nice more than protection. I have to say I'm pretty happy with it. Looks pretty cool. Yep, I was just happy with what I was doing, and you have to interrupt me again as usual. Anything else? The only thing I'm missing is... What was the game? The decoy blocks. Let's do one side first. There's no small grid decoys like this. Like that. Can put some plating on top. As far as I know, these decoys still work even if they are not powered. They only need to be powered if you want to distract them from lightning. That's a pretty big drone. But hopefully, if I have like 6, 10 of them, they should give me a good advantage. Alright, so the only thing now left for me to do is 2 things. The only two things left for me to do right now is we need to color this and I need to set up the AI blocks. So let me recharge.
Energy low.
Yes, I was quicker than you. And let's set up the whole thing first. So let's go into our control panel. And let's make sure that all of these are no longer having numbers. Anyway, I'm gonna be taking some time to change the numbers and the names here, and then I'll be back with you to show you how to set up the AI blocks. Alright, so the event controllers, we're gonna call one event controller for the connector check. The second controller is gonna be target check. Alright. Then we will have the timer. We don't need automation in front, we just need timer. And the timer is gonna be trigger now. Trigger AI. Alright. This button panel is also gonna be for trigger AI. So the first thing we want to do is go to the event controller. And the event... Actually, no. Let's go to the timer block first. Timer block first. Let me also check my AI blocks first. Let's check the AI blocks first. And make sure that all the AI behaviors are off. They are. So now let's go to timer. The timing is not important, but we're going to put it on 1. Just to make sure that it triggers as quickly as possible. And then we're going to set up actions. So in the setup actions, what we're going to do now, we're going to make sure that this timer is like a group. That is, when I press the button, I'm going to activate the timer, and the timer is going to activate everything on the first step. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go to AI Basic. And once I click this button, I want this to start following me. I also want to enable the AI. So we say AI behavior on. We want to enable the AI flight as well. So in AI on this one. Then we want to enable our defensive block as well, which is going to be AI behavior on. Because we're going to use the defensive block, not the... We want the defensive. Where's the defensive? There is defensive. Defensive block, AI behavior on. Because we want to make sure that we first are going to use this to target, and then we're going to switch over to our offensive. And then we also need to turn on the event controller that does the target check. So we're going to say toggle block on. This means, with this set, we should go to our event controller. Event, and the target check has to be off. Alright? This is only going to be enabled later on. Alright, let me just check again. Timer. Timer AI. Setup actions. These are the steps that once this timer is triggered, that is going to enable the follow me, the flight, the move, and the defensive block. And it is going to set the drone ready to start checking for targets. Alright. Now, let's move to the event controller, which is the check. So, event controller check, the connector check. Check if the connector is locked or unlocked. Then, we are adding the small connector to the block that it wants to recognize. And then we go to select actions. In there, we just need to do one thing. When the connector is disconnected, right here, when it's disconnected, gonna trigger the timer. So we're just gonna say trigger now. So when the connector disconnects, it automatically is gonna activate the drone to work as if I would press the button. That's the only thing we need to do. Alright, let's go to target check. And we're gonna go to this one. We're gonna set target locked. And then distance to locked target. This is what we're going to set here. And we're going to set this to 2000 meters. So when I'm in the range of 2000 meters, my drones are going to activate and are going to go into the attack. And we want to make sure that it's equal or less than 2000. Alright, so we also want to add the 2 blocks that are going to be the ones that are targeting, and we're just going to add those 2 to these selected blocks here. Now, the offensive block will be disabled when the drone starts, which means that it first of all is going to activate the defense block. It's going to use the defense block to check for targets. Once it found the target, it will disable the defense block, and then the AI offensive will be the one that constantly targets the ships. Then we go to select actions, and then here we're going to set 2 things. We're going to disable our basic task, so when each locked target is within the 2 kilometers, we're going to disable this. We're going to say AI behavior off. And the second one, we're going to enable our offensive combat, so we're going to say AI behavior on. So now this one will take over for the rest of the combat. Now I could set up it as well that once there is nothing more targeted, it will return to my ship, but I'm not really focused on that right now, and I think I need more blocks for it to work. So we're just going to leave it as this, and we're just going to use these drones as one-time use. We will lose them, we lose them. So now this has been set up, we have to go to our next basic ones. We're going to go to our AI basic. And we're going to set this to follow player. We don't trigger follow me, we'll leave it as it is. And we're going to set the distance to about 150 meters. This means that we will have to be in range of the target about 1850 meters before the drones are going to be triggered. Then we go to the defensive AI. We're going to set the behavior off. We can defend against enemies, and we're going to set the subsystem with weapons. So we are defending against systems with weapons. We are never going to flee, and that's all we need to do. Then we go to the AI offensive. No, go to the AI flight. The AI flight, we're going to set the speed limit to max. And the rest we don't need to change. We leave collision avoidance off, behavior off, the collision avoidance on and behavior off. And then finally we do the AI offensive. AI offensive, we're going to set the targeting priority first to the largest ship. We're going to leave the interval 30 seconds. Threatening systems, we're going to put on weapons. Attack pattern, we're going to keep circle and orbit. And we're going to put the circle distance at 350 meters. Then we have to add all weapons and add them to the selected weapons. Now, let's go to our action relay. I'm going to put this on channel 10, and the best thing to do is actually write this down. So we're going to write channel 10, accept signal from faction, and then we're going to go to setup actions. We're going to go to our offensive block, and we're going to say change to propulsion. Alright, because this one is going to allow us to first let the drones attack the guns first. Once the guns are taken out, it can then focus on propulsion if needed. I'm just going to add this to this list. So when I'm triggering the action relay, we will give a signal to our drones, which are in range, if they are in range, that they have to switch to propulsion. Alright, so the only thing we need to do right now is set this button and make sure that we trigger our timer. So we just say trigger now. So either we disconnect from our connector or we press the button. That is going to activate the drone. Currently the drone is completely free for me to use as a ship for the moment. Alright, I'm going to bring this outside Let's open up the gate. I'm gonna do some changes to the colors. Gonna blueprint it so that we can make this en masse. I'm gonna blueprint it with the saddle cockpit on it so that if I want to, I can just bring it to my connector, land it on my ship, and have it ready for the combat. So this is now currently weighing 21k, so that's not too light. Let me close the gate again. Oh no, you know what, we'll bring our ships back later in there, so it's okay. Alright, I'm gonna paint this, and I'll be back when I'm done with that. Alright, so this is the result. I'm pretty okay with it. Doesn't look too aggressive, I would say, but still... I mean, 4 guns should deal some damage. We'll see how it deals with anything. I decided to call it the Vespid. So we're gonna have the Vespid drone. What I can do, whenever I weld one up, I just can do control panel and then just give them all a group. And I can give them each a separate group, just in case they might cause some issues if I connect more than one on the same spot. Anyway, I'm gonna blueprint it like this, and then we can mass produce them. What I think might be a good idea is to test it out on a light grid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly about 2 kilometers out. Maybe I should build something small, maybe? A battery and a gun? That should be enough, no? A battery and a gun. We're going to build a gun. We're going to build a battery against it. And now we go to control panel. Transfer to space pilots. Yes. Alright. Let's fly back. I need to put some Gatling ammo in this turret. And another thing I need to do is I need to change the radius. So I might change the radius. Alright, so I'm gonna change the distance. So in control panel, AI flight move, follow me. AI flight basic, follow me at, let's say, 80 meters. And the next thing I want to do is put some ammo in there. Okay, all the Gatling guns now have ammo. Let me blueprint this again. And just rename it to what I named it before, MK1. Alright, now we can grind these away. And let's put that thing away. Let's trigger now. And let's go towards that place. I don't remember. I forgot to put a... But I think we should be somewhere here. Once it starts targeting, we're just gonna link to him. Dampen it to him. I think he already found something. Yeah, there he goes. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to follow because I didn't manage to dampen to it. There we go. Damn. Yeah, boy. And there we go. That should be it, no? Alright, if I press the button again, would you go and follow me again? You are. So normally, what happened now? Did I now automatically... Let me see. Control panel. AI. AI behavior is on. Defensive AI behavior is on. AI behavior is on. AI behavior is off. Actually, I fixed this. I can actually go and pick up my drones again, and they will be automatically back to their original position. Ah, cool. So this test is proper. The only thing I could do is add another action relay on it that sends the signal to my timer to trigger it, and it starts following me again. I'm not sure if it's going to follow from a far distance, or does it need some range before it realizes that? Alright, well, I'm happy with this. This is working. I'm considering putting another block somewhere that allows me to... And I might do it here. The problem is if I do it here, this is going to be a very weak spot. Honestly, it is already a pretty weak spot. So, let's... What I'm going to do... Oh, okay, no. I want to see if I can put a... Alright, so if I would put another relay in there, then we fill this up with heavy armor again. There we go. I can now go to that relay. Control panel. Action relay 2. So this one is on channel 2. I can do the same now. I can just say channel 2 or channel 10. Or can I not? No, I need to do channel 11. Set up actions. And then we just say trigger now. So one is going to trigger, is going to ask it to change its aggressiveness towards the thrusters, propulsion, and the other channel, which is channel 11, which is going to switch back to follow me, which means it's going to go back to me if there is nothing anymore to attack in the neighborhood. So that way I could retract my drones in case it's needed. Alright, so I'm going to make a blueprint of this one. I'm going to call this the version 2, MK1. Version 2 recall. That way I don't lose the other one in case I made a mistake with this one. Alright, so now we just need to find a way to weld this up and create more of those. We just bring you down. So we could build ourselves a quick platform here with just some welders. I think that should be big enough to cover this whole thing. Yeah. Then on the outside we just need some pipes. There we go. Then we say welders. Let's turn them all on. All the incomplete ones. Let's turn those on. And then if I would just weld up the first one here that is linked to the connector, it should normally weld up all of the other ones automatically. Let's see, how large are you? You should be able to fit over that. So on this, I just need a rotor. Let's just remove this large head. Put a rotor lock on. And attach small head. Then we need a button. This button is going to be to turn off the welders on and off. And then we need a projector. And we need all the welders and put them in a group. Welder floor. Save. Button off groups. And we say toggle block on off. So now, there we go. And here we now need to put our projection. That should be it now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to reach the top section, so we'll see. I also need to double check if it actually is welding everything up and what I'm going to be missing. We need one more block. Let's make this red. Alright, let's see how this goes. I think it actually manages, except for the batteries. Okay, you see, I don't have batteries. So, how many power cells are going in a battery like that? 20. That's 40, and let's say that I make another 10. I need 400 power cells. Alright, I think that looks completed now. Okay, so if I now grind you off, projection is gonna come back, but I cannot weld until I connect that block back. So, alright, this is number 2. Well, guys, what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be welding up a whole bunch of those. I do want to speed this up a little bit, so I might actually build 2 projectors and weld 2 at a time. I might have to expand the welder floor a bit. Anyway, we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna do that in a time lapse. The Vespids are ready. The prototype performed better than expected. Weapons, AI and command logic all executed without a hitch. Against the test grid I built, it moved like it should. Followed me, engaged when close by, and returned when called. The design isn't flawless. The rear thrusters and the battery layout are weak points, but it does exactly what I needed to do. Draw fire, disrupt, and give the Phoenix room to strike. We made 10 more on the welding pads. They are all linked with the Phoenix through a new relay network and standing by on my mark. For the first time in a long time, I will not be the only one out here. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed seeing the process, and as always, thank you so much for watching and supporting the series. I will see you in the next one. Beeblebum out.